This is Making Housing More Affordable. I'm Lily.
I'm Haley.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Mihika.
And I'm Nabio. Okay, so our first section of our presentation will be going over fixing the loopholes within MPDUs. MPDUs, also known as moderately priced dwelling units, are housing units provided by the county in order to help people of low income be able to afford housing. One loophole that we did find within this program is that currently the MPDU program only provides apartments for families regardless of their family's size. This can cause overcrowding within families, and that can be problematic. And if the MPDU program could expand and we can get investments in order for it to be able to provide housing for people based off of the family sizes, so that it only doesn't encompass apartments, but also single family homes if the family needs it.
Another thing we wanted to focus on is outreach programs. So there are extremely low rates of homeownership for younger generations than it has been in previous decades. So in order to combat this, we wanted to have outreach programs, especially targeting Montgomery College, because it has such a high percentage of young people that will go on to be homeowners, hopefully in Montgomery County, to spread awareness to young adults about personal finance habits and housing programs, so that they are equipped with the tools they need to eventually become homeowners, and also reaching out to communities to obtain feedback on how better to improve support on homeownership.
So we also wanted to touch on community development, as like a well-developed community is important for youth in order for them to succeed better later on in life. So community centers, parks, and recreation centers, we'd want to concentrate these in lower income areas where this development is scarce. And the current system of MPDUs should also emphasize these low income areas.
Yeah, so on this slide is a graph of the home ownership rates by district in Montgomery County. So we can see a lot of the discrepancies that there are between different groups. For example, we see that Blacks have a lot lower home ownership rate, which is again a big issue, and we need to make sure that there's a lot of equity when we're considering home ownership. We don't normally stop and think about our homes' impacts on our lives, but it has a huge effect on our education, our health, and our success. Studies show that poor housing quality is associated with higher baseline symptoms of anxiety, depression, and aggression from elementary school to young adulthood. Your level of housing income should not determine the state of your well-being.
The National Housing Commission reports that the physical quality of the homes in a household's capacity to afford a stable and sustainable living environment can affect students' educational outcomes. In Montgomery County, Black and Latinx residents are exposed to environmental toxins at disproportionate rates, leading to health disparities and many chronic conditions. We must take steps to ensure that all families can access high quality and affordable housing.
Additionally, well-developed communities play a large part in enhancing development and increasing chances of success for youth later in life. Families and children need access to community centers, activities, and parks, which are currently far more developed in wealthy, majority white neighborhoods. This level of disparity is unacceptable and often overlooked when regarding housing programs. We encourage, in addition to the current equity advancing system of implementing MPDUs, to place special emphasis on developing communities in lower income areas containing MPDUs.
And although MPDUs are a crucial step towards equitizing housing, we must also clear the path for homeownership. The process of becoming a homeowner should not be made so difficult that it dissuades people from taking this step. Homeownership rates for Black and Latinx residents in Montgomery County are 42% and 49% respectively, while homeownership rates for white residents are at 73%. It is crucial to make the path to homeownership for these communities more accessible, which will lead to more equitable education and livelihoods. Targeted educational programs to communities are a must to equitize MoCo. We urge you to consider the proposals outlined in detail in our presentation, and remember that everyone deserves a safe space to call their home.
We wanted to use social media as a way to effectively spread crucial information through platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. On these platforms, we can explain housing policies and procedures in a clear and concise manner, making the information accessible across generations. Additionally, using a variety of platforms such as Instagram and Facebook to reach to different generations. We can also establish a dedicated page with links, resources, and references to key titles like DHCA, the local housing target projects, and community land trust, and the MPDU.
But of course, with every policy decision, there are costs associated. So by not only pulling from our current funding for the MPDU program, we can also collaborate with corporations and relevant organizations to garner support for more costs and to also make sure that we get the funding that we need. We can also identify and look for more grants in order to fund our community development and our parks and recreation centers that we advocate for.
Thank you so much for listening to our proposals, and we hope that they have an impact.